Mr. Crow.
I think you actually have a number of questions that I'd like to address to either the city manager or the members of council or the staff as they're here, because I think that any bond issue of this magnitude of $25 million for both the streets in 1 and 9250 and then 9251 for the parks bears a great deal of study on our part. And I guess the first question I have, which I'll direct to the city manager, is it's my understanding, based on the emails that I received, that the working group that you convened was convened on October the 28th for the first time. Is that correct?
Madam Mayor, through to Councilmember Crow, yes.
So sometime prior to October the 28th, somebody, and more than likely it's someone here at the dais, or at least in the room, someone had to initiate this process, that it was time for a bond issue. So my question is to the city manager, were you the one who initiated this process, or is that someone else?
Madam Mayor, through to Councilmember Crow, yes, I did.
So you initiated the process as our city manager to determine that a $20 million bond issue, or at least as it came to a $20 million bond issue, that it was your idea then to come forth. So when you came forth with the idea for a bond issue, then for the October 28th meeting, you then selected the members for what you called your working group?
I've been thinking about the condition of our infrastructure for some time. I've also been giving some consideration as to how it will be financed. So I decided to consult with some people who I have discussed other issues with the seat area.
Correct. So you select, so I guess my question is, it sounds kind of odd to me, but if you selected the working group and you provided the names of them, so you selected the mayor for your working group, is that correct?
I asked the mayor to participate, yes.
And then you also selected then Councilmember Sharp?
I asked Councilmember Sharp to participate, yes.
And then you also asked John Soldar?
Yes.
Ed Schmidt?
Yes.
Ed McCarthy?
Yes.
And then Rich Wilson?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. What can I ask, what criteria did you use in selecting the members to be on your working group?
Those are people that I've worked with in the past, seeking their opinions on financial matters.
No, I understand. Actually, even in our study session, you said that was a committee made up of people with whom you could work. So did you give any ideas to having a broader citizen input?
No.
So no thoughts to having a broader public engagement process?
No.
So as you put together the working group, any thoughts to having any members from the Olive Business Owners Association?
No.
The Loop Special Business District?
No.
The owners of the large rental complexes in University City?
No.
To anyone who is a resident living north of Olive?
Councilmember Sharp from North of Olive.
Okay, thank you. We'll come back on that. Anyone who lives south of Delmar?
I didn't take into account geographic considerations.
Clearly. Any attorneys?
No.
Any real estate agents?
No.
Any members of the Park Commission?
No.
And so then, as I recall, the working group then had 4 meetings per your email: October 28th, November the 18th, December the 2nd, and December the 16th. And as I'm understanding it, no public notices went out.
There was no requirement for any public notices.
Absolutely. I've heard that that is your opinion. There were no requirements for public notices.
That's the opinion of the city attorney.
Absolutely. So it makes good business policy not to let the citizens know that we're talking about a $25 million bond issue. So I guess I have a question for you. Mr. Sharp was a member of your working group, yet per your emails, Mr. Sharp never attended a meeting. that we're bringing forth tonight for $25 million, are we having bond insurance or not?
Yes, we would.
But we didn't talk about it as a working group?
Wasn't necessary.
Why not?
The purpose of the working group was really to talk about whether or not there was interest and information that could be considered with respect to the condition of the city streets. All of the other information regarding the technical aspects, we would be seeking bond counsel and the financial information.
But you've already said that we're having bond insurance, so is that decision already been made?
It is a decision that I would be recommending to council, yes.
So we haven't made the decision, or we have?
I'm not in a position to make those decisions. I'm in a position to make recommendations.
No, I understand that, but I thought you just said that you'd already decided that it was good. Do we know what the cost of the insurance is?
No.
Okay, thank you. Throughout the working group issues, and this could be your own work as well, did you or members of the committee or any of your employees reach out to outside professionals such as attorneys, bond underwriters, or financial advisors?
Yes.
And could you tell me who they were, please?
WM Strategies, I believe, is the name of our financial advisor.
And no bond counsel and no underwriters?
There has been some preliminary discussion with bond counsel. Yes.
Well, were they available to answer questions, and did you or your staff take advantage of that?
Yes.
And who were they?
Joy Albert is our financial advisor. She's worked with us before. And the name of the attorney, I believe it's Martin Graham. Is that correct? Yes.
And the law firm name is?
It's the law firm.
Bond counsel is from Gilmore and Bell.
Yes.
And they've already been retained?
Not yet.
Okay, thank you. So the council's first discussion of this bond issue was in our study session, I think, on January 5th. And at that time, according to the mayor and the minister, we had a consensus to move this forward. So did we make outreach to these professional advisors that I see on the agenda tonight after the 5th or before the 5th?
We have ongoing discussions with our financial advisor, so I can't remember what it was before or after.
And how about Gilmore and Bell, because they usually charge by the hour?
We may have had a discussion with Gilmore and Bell. We have recently. I don't believe that we did before the January meeting.
Okay, so if we didn't have an outreach, I'm just kind of confused here, because Gilmore and Bell had already sent their letter to be retained on December the 29th, and we hadn't met until January the 5th. So I think that's very odd that if we didn't have our meeting until January the 5th, that if you look in our own packet, Gilmore and Bell's letter is dated December the 29th, 2014. Very intriguing. How many folks did we look at when we were looking for a financial advisor?
We have about 30 more seconds, Mr.
Right, I've got two resolutions, right? I got the street one and I have the park one, and I think most of the taxpayers are probably rolling these babies together. So whether it's this one or it's the next one, I'll get my questions in.
I don't recall.
You don't recall if you met with anybody else?
Madam Mayor, Councilmember Crow said 3 weeks to come forward with these questions and this evidence. And if he chooses to grandstand here, then he can do that. But I really resent the tone. I really resent the fact that, as I said, he has had 3 weeks to come forward with these questions. He's
Mr. Walker would rather have a private meeting in his conference room where nothing is said in public. So I feel very comfortable asking my questions in public. And I believe as a council member, I get to choose where and when I ask my questions.
Mr. Crow, your first 10 minutes are up. Does any other member of council